Guys, it's Robin Morton here coming at you from the west coast of Scotland on a dull and wet spring day, as it quite often is in the Highlands of Scotland. Today I've got an urgent update for people who have sponsored me for my 1,000-mile bike ride in May, and anybody else who's interested in doing so. It probably doesn't come as a huge surprise to most of you to hear that the event has been cancelled. I have been waiting for a while now. I've been expecting to. Hi Lenike, hope everybody can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I've been waiting for ages for the organisers, the Land's End to John O'Groats cycle ride in May, to get back to me to confirm one way or the other whether the event was still going. Now I'm joining their group, so I have a organised package of support when I'm doing my 1,000-mile cycle for World Wildlife Fund in Australia. I'm doing it to raise money for the bushfire animals. Basically, I was very touched by the devastation that was caused a few months ago in the bushfires, and I wanted to do something positive, so I'm raising money. I've raised about £500 so far. It's not really very much. I'm quite disappointed in that, but there's been a lot of other things going on in the world at the same time. So really this video today is to say that the event as such, the formal event, won't be happening in May, just like there aren't really any events happening anywhere really at this time of year. That's the Olympics being postponed. So I have a couple of options, and I just want to really see what people think about it. Hi Joanne. I haven't made a firm decision yet on what I'm going to do, but my options are twofold really. I could potentially do this. I could potentially do this cycle ride in the autumn. But there are hundreds of people through different events in May, June, July who will all be wanting to do the same event in the autumn, and there's no way they're all going to be able to get a place. So it's highly likely that my cycle ride, if I accept their offer of perhaps taking part in the autumn, it's highly likely that it'll be overbooked and I won't get to do it. So my other option is to just postpone the whole thing and not do my cycle ride until 2021. I've got a much more chance of doing it in 2021. The big problem for me, apart from the selfish problem of the fact I've been training like mad to be fit enough to cycle 100 miles a day for 10 days, the other major problem I've got, hi Joanne, my other major problem that I've got is that I'm doing this for the animals in Australia. Cycling from Land's End to John O'Groats is a bucket list thing that I've always wanted to do, and it's a bit of an ego trip perhaps to be able to say that I've cycled the length and breadth of the UK, but primarily it's for the animals, and I'm sure they need the money that I'm raising a lot sooner than next year, 2021. So the sooner I can do this cycle ride, the better. The sooner these animals can get the money, and the sooner the help that they so desperately need can be given to them. So my proposal is that I do the 1,000-mile cycle in May, but I just do it on my own, and I do it around the Highlands of Scotland where I live. Now there are lockdown restrictions in Scotland right now, so we can't go out on mass bike rides around here. We can't even leave home here unless we have a valid reason for doing so, like food shopping, etc. We're not allowed to congregate in more than 2 people unless it's people you live with. So therefore, I can't go on a mass cycle ride in May, but we're allowed to go out once a day for exercise. So for me to go out on my bike on my own in May, I can cycle 100 miles in the Highlands pretty easily without seeing a soul, without mixing with anybody. You know, I would be able to cycle through Glencoe, for example, and take some gorgeous videos and photographs of Glencoe for you to watch. I can cycle up Loch Ness, up the Caledonian Canal, the Great Glen, all the way up to Inverness, and take some gorgeous photos there and share that part of the Highlands with you. I can cycle lots and lots of different areas around the Highlands of Scotland where I live, you know, making sure I do roughly 100 miles a day. It'll all be, you know, tracked and GPSed, so you know I can prove I've done it. The beauty of this is I can, you know, choose where to go, and I'll always be home, back in my own bed each night for the 10 days. So it'll be quite simple to do. Hard to cycle on your own, to be honest. It's much easier to cycle in a pack of cyclists in a peloton, because you've got people you can draft behind, so you're not taking the full brunt of the wind for a whole day. But I know I can cycle 100 miles in a day. I've got my fitness level up hugely over the last few weeks and months. I did a test on Sunday and my legs are, you know, really strong. So I'm quite confident I can do it even on my own. I will need to take all my food and provisions with me each day for the 100 miles, because I won't be able to go into any cafes or restaurants or bars, I wouldn't imagine, unless things really change in the next 7 weeks. You know, the lockdown is for 3 weeks, so in 3 weeks' time we could all be laughing about this, but I seriously doubt it. I think we're going to be in this situation for a lot longer than 3 weeks. That's why I don't think doing it in the autumn is with an organised group is sensible, because it probably won't happen. We probably won't be able to get our bars and our restaurants and our cafes and our bed and breakfasts to be working in August. So I think it's just a waste of time even thinking about it. So my proposal is I just carry on, do my 100 miles a day around the Highlands of Scotland in May, starting on the 14th of May, as planned. The only difference from a sponsorship point of view is you're sponsoring me to cycle around the Highlands of Scotland instead of sponsoring me to cycle Land's End to John O'Groats. But at the end of the day, it's still for the animals of Australia. That's the whole point of doing it. So they will get their money much more quickly than if I postpone it till 2021. I will still do Land's End to John O'Groats in 2021, but I'll just do it for fun. I'll do it for my own amusement, and that'll be that. So my proposal is I'm going to do my sponsorship in May. I don't think I'm breaking any rules by going out on my bike once a day. It'll take me, you know, the best part of a day to cycle 100 miles, but I will really not see anybody. I'm going to be in the most remote part of Scotland, you know, well away from main roads, and I won't really be mixing with anybody. It may not keep me sane, Joanne. It may not keep me sane. It may be too late. That boat has probably sailed already. But I'm glad to get some certainty now. It was just not knowing was really annoying, and now I can get on with you know, attracting more sponsorship. You know, if people want to sponsor me, I will drop in a link again later, and you know, I will do the 100 miles. It'll still be tough. There are not many miles in the Highlands of Scotland that are flat, so every mile is either going to be uphill or downhill. But yes, I think, Ganka, that is the decision that is the safest. I want this to happen. I want this money to get to these kangaroos and koala bears and all the wee animals that were hurt and virtually wiped out in the Australian bushfires. I want that money to get to them sooner than later. So if I do it in May, you know, I'll close the sponsorship off in June and they will get the money then, instead of having to wait till some date in the future in the autumn, which might not happen, or next year, which is just, in my mind, too far away for me to do the best good for them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be glad to hear what people think, and hopefully you'll all agree that that's the best course of action. So that's me signing off for this now, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.